And hello, welcome back to BSG Online 5. We're gonna have a wonderful run coming up, but first a donation by Giblix, €6. And Giblix says, swag strats deserve recognition. I absolutely agree. So now we're gonna give it over to TinyTim78 with Manic Miner. Good luck on the run.
Thank you very much indeed, Killer Chair. Hello there, folks. My name is TinyTim78, and we are going to be showing you a Manic Miner on the PC today, 2004 PC version. With me, I have the world record holder for this game, but not this particular version, the one and only Ruffled Bricks.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here.
Who's going to help me with the commentary today. So I'm going to get started, and I'll let Ruffled Bricks explain a little bit about the game. As we get started, I'm going to do a countdown. So, ready on time, and we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, so this is Manic Miner. This is Matthew Smith's magnum opus from 1983. This is the PC version that Tim is playing, so graphically it's a little more detailed than the original ZX Spectrum version, but it handles pretty much the same. The idea in each level is to grab all of the items, and then the gateway will open at the end, and while you're doing that you need to avoid manic mining robots like that clockwork toy right there, who Tim has managed to get past fairly sufficiently.
Yeah, there's so many fantastic things in this game. For example, we've got ice skating penguins here, and I always like to say about this game that when Matthew Smith wrote it, he must have been indulging in some sort of perhaps illicit substances, because some of the creativity in this game is, even for the 1980s, is quite something. What's your favourite enemy in this game, Ruffled Bricks?
Probably Eugene. He seems like someone who keeps his lair in good shape. We'll be seeing him pretty shortly. I always like these birds as well in the menagerie. This is quite a tricky third level, this one, because you've got the entire top platform here is made of crumbling blocks. So you have to do your timing on this pretty specifically in order to avoid getting your legs broke.
Now this level here is a slightly easier level. This is the abandoned uranium workings. I always thought when I was a child that those things at the bottom there were like mining robots or something. But they're actually not, are they, Bricks?
They are seals, if I understand correctly. They are the most ineffectual enemies in the game, by the way. They are absolutely nowhere near anywhere you need to go on this screen. So if you get killed by those, then you probably should stop and ask for directions.
My favourite enemies in the game here.
Here he is, Eugene, and his toilets. These items, by the way, according to Matthew Smith, are all meant to be Eugene's stacks of credit cards that he's just left strewn around his lair. So you can see why. Basically, what happens with this level is once you've grabbed all of the items, Eugene will head right down to the bottom to try and block off the exit. He'll start flashing in a wild rage. So Tim is going to be very specific in the order in which he grabs the last two items here. He's got that one on the far right first, and then we're going for the bottom one there, just near the exit.
Okay, it's going to be a wee bit tight, but we'll get it. There we go. There he goes.
You'll be fine. There you go. Bosh.
I like this one too.
Yeah.
This is lots of 80s references in this game, obviously.
Yes, some very copyright infringing enemies in this level. Processing plant. There's a few different ways around this one, actually. Like Tim is taking the clockwise route around here. There's also an anti-clockwise route you can take as well. Yeah, and also the exit in this is a pixel perfect jump. It's you have to go right to the edge of the platform in order to get in there. Otherwise, that's going to waste some time.
Yeah, I actually missed that jump quite often, but I managed to get it down, it's actually more lenient on this version than it is on the Spectrum version.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot more lenient. And also this version, this is all collapsing floor here, and you'll notice here that this is slightly different, again, Ruffled Bricks, from the way the Spectrum version sort of works for this level. It's similar.
Yes, but you can grab the items from the platform above. basically. So that makes the route you can take around the crumbling platforms in the vat just slightly easier in the PC version.
This is a very difficult level. Well, kind of.
And another non-copyright infringing enemy at the top there. That is the Kong Beast. Now, you'll notice there's two switches in this level. The one that Tim just hit there opened up the door in the middle. There's also a switch in the top right, which I believe Tim is going to ignore in this particular level. The switch, if hit, will actually dunk the Kong Beast into the exit. You get a lot of points for doing that, but it doesn't actually help with the speed run. It delays, adds about 20 seconds to it, so there's no real point in doing it.
Yeah, it slows you down. We're trying to go fast, so.
Exactly. This one's a fun level.
Yeah, this level is actually probably, I think you'd probably agree, one of the harder ones in the Spectrum version. But I chicken out here. I go for fairly slow strats on this one. I haven't quite got a routine in this level that allows me to go at maximum speed. There's still quite a few things, bits of this run. I've been running this game for a couple of years now, this version. And there's definitely a few areas where it could be improved. But you may think, oh, this game's easy. I mean, anybody can do this game. Yeah, I would disagree with that. What's your thoughts on the difficulty of this game?
Someone who was watching the stream for a while assumed that the game was easy from the way that I did it, and then he downloaded it, and I think he gave up after like 20 minutes. So it is, it's very, very precise platforming throughout this game.
No, I absolutely like this level. This is one of my fun levels.
More copyright avoidance here. These are not Ewoks, people. These are just Willy with his helmet on back to front. But yeah, this is a good level. It's quite. There's a few different ways around the right hand side of this one. And again, some crumbling platforms there you have to be careful of in terms of the timing. But yeah, good level, this one.
Yeah, it's always embarrassing to die to a naughty book, but thankfully we didn't manage that. This is probably my favourite level in the game, actually, to be honest, is the Attack of the Mutant Telephones. It's a level that I really struggled with as a child. This is about as far as I got in the game when I was little.
And for any Zoomers watching, this is genuinely how we used to communicate. These are landline phones floating up and down. And yeah, Tim's taking the clockwise route around this one again, which is the optimum. And yeah, he's got 10p coins as well, so you get a whopping 50 pence as a result of your adventures around this cavern. That's the subplot of this game is that Willy's fallen down a series of particularly nasty mines, and he's actually looting them for treasure. So he actually uses the gains that he gets from this game in order to purchase the mansion that he has in the sequel to this game, Jet Set Willy.
Yep. And Jet Set Willy
his Kong Beast again.
Yep, this is the second Kong Beast. This is the Alien Kong Beast this time. This is the Revenge. And this level is very, very tricky. When I first started speedrunning or sort of fast tracks in this game, this was one of the levels that cost me a lot of lives. This particular section here, I don't use the particularly fast strat that Buffalo Bricks uses for the Spectrum version, because again, that's very, very precise indeed. But it is...
Yeah, the right hand side is pretty tough. But this time round, Tim, I believe, is going to dunk the Kong Beast.
Yeah, I always like to dunk the Kong Beast.
The switch is right there, so you might as well, and it helps you get an extra life quicker. So
yeah, can you explain that colour flashing? Just explain what that was there.
Yeah, the colour flash that you just saw there was Willy getting an extra life. So I think you're able to get about 3 or 4 extra lives throughout the course of the run.
I think it's 3.
It's 3, yeah. It's been a while since I've played this. Now, in this level, Tim is using the dynamic, exclusive to the PC version, whereby you can actually grab these items from above. So he stepped onto from the platforms above there in order to get those, which makes the route around that level slightly easier.
That's one of the routes that does diverge from the Spectrum version, as does this one down to the conveyor belts. If you'd like to talk about that for me.
Yes. So conveyor belt dynamics are slightly weird in versions of the game, if we're honest with you. But basically, in the Spectrum version, if you fall onto a conveyor belt from the opposite way that it is running, then you cannot walk against its trajectory. However, in the PC version, you can actually do that. So you notice that Tim fell onto the conveyor belt a couple of times there and walked against it, which afforded him certain routes in this that you can't do in other versions. And, oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Tim lost a life on the falling yellow Skylab landing bay there. Something to note about the enemies in this, by the way, is that they do fall in a fixed pattern. It looks random, but actually you'll notice, if you look carefully, that each enemy falls around 8 squares to the right of its predecessor. If you look at the colours, like if you look at the blue one there, then the next one falls like 8 squares to the right, and so on and so forth. So there is a pattern there. It's just very difficult to keep an eye on.
Okay, well that was not perfect, but that's fine. We're still in good shape. This level is a really interesting one because it is, in my opinion, one of the easier levels in the whole game, and yet it's level 15. The difficulty curve in this game is a bit strange.
It's a weird sort of like little break that you get just later on in the game, I suppose. And also that enemy down the bottom there, that is a bouncing check, according to Matthew Smith, which is something I think he had a little bit of experience with in his time programming.
Definitely. This here is the start of what I like to call the gauntlet, which is 16, 17, 18 and 19 all together, which basically are 4 of the hardest levels in the game, back to back. This one isn't too bad because I've got a slightly new strats on this that if anybody saw my BSG run of this game a couple of years ago, I've obviously changed some of the strategies since then, primarily on this level and also the solar power generator. But yeah, this is a fairly precise level. Anything to add on this one, Rex?
Yeah, I thought it's worth mentioning what you just did there with the jumps. It's something that we call Q jumps in the game, whereby if you want to do a pixel-perfect jump in a certain direction, then what you can do in this game is you just jump on the spot, and then if you then hold jump and hold the direction you want to go in, then it will then enable you to jump from that pixel as you go along. So yeah, that's something I thought was worth mentioning. Also, the warehouse is a very tough level. Loads of collapsing platforms here.
We got there.
And Tim got it in one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that one and this one, believe it or not, were the two that really, well, 2 of the 3 that gave me a lot of problems when learning this game. This one here, I've got a good setup for now. I've got a specific position that I set myself up for this one, which we'll see very shortly. This looks really, really tight, but if I get the position right, it isn't actually too bad, and it's fairly predictable. The next one, however, is probably, in my opinion, the hardest level in the game. I don't know if you would agree with that, Bricks, but...
yeah, I would agree with that. This is, of course, a sequel to the Amoebatrons level. There's quite a few sequels in this game, actually, which is quite pleasing. There's a nice sense of continuity to it. Also, what's funny about these Amoebatrons levels is you only have 1 item to get for each one. So that basically all it is just a platforming exercise.
Okay, here we go. Would you like to explain the fun with this one?
Yeah, so you notice there is this yellow beam flying around on the right-hand side of the level. This solar beam actually sucks air out of Willy when he walks through it. And you'll notice that the air supply hasn't been a problem in this run up until this point. However, this is a really tough level because that beam sucks a lot of your energy out. And not only that, but you have to pretty much do 2 whole circuits of the level in order to get all of the items, because you notice one of the items there, one of the keys, was actually directly underneath the exit, and it looks like you should be able to get it from above, but you actually can't. So yeah, this is pretty much the hardest level in the game by far. Yeah, so it's a pretty tricky one.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. If you got anything you need to say, Killer Chair?
Currently, no donations yet, but I would like to remind people that they can give us donations because we're raising money for Mind. It's a nationwide organization committed to prevent mental health issues and support everyone who is dealing with the issues themselves or within their family. I think it's a wonderful charity, and anything anyone can spare could definitely make a difference.
Okay, now this is the really difficult bit coming up here. This is really, really tight. Let's see if we can get it right here. There we go, got it. Got
As
it!
you can see,
Happy with
the
that.
air is very low. Air is very low. But that's pretty much par for the course on that level. And here we are with the final barrier, which is a bit of a, would you agree, an anticlimax
It's
to this
definitely
game?
an anticlimax, unfortunately. The problem is if you get to this one only 1 or 2 lives, it can be a little bit tricky, because it is very easy. That jump at the bottom is not easy to do properly. And it can be
the
difficult.
the hitbox on that yellow trolley thing there is surprisingly wide, so jumping over it can be sort of, it can throw you for a loop. But we're about to reach the end.
Yeah, time coming up.
Time will be when Tim jumps into the gate here, which is now.
There you go, time. Whew.
GG, Tim.
Thank you, Rufflebricks. Thank you so much. That was actually a pretty good run. I will share that before I did a practice run earlier on today, and I did a perfect run and didn't die once. And I've never actually done that before. And I was like, well, that's going to be a hard act to follow. But that was pretty good. How many times did I die there? I died in the...
I think there was only a couple.
2.
There was like...
Solar Power Generator.
And
Skylab Landing Zone.
Oh, Skylab, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was a good run.
Yeah, that's on par with my first BSG run. So thank you very much indeed again, BSG, for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure this weekend. That's been done 4 runs this weekend. So thank you so much again. Thank you, Rufflebricks, for the absolutely fantastic and very informative commentary.
No worries.
It was greatly appreciated.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. An absolute pleasure. And thank you, Killer Chair, for being an amazing host as always. And yes, please keep those donations coming in for Mind, folks. It's absolutely brilliant charity. We've done amazingly well this weekend. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you enjoy this, if you've enjoyed watching this game, please come and check me out, TinyTim78 on Twitch. And yeah, thank you very much indeed. And I'm going to go away and let us carry on with the marathon. So cheers for now.
Much appreciated, TinyTim. And of course, everybody stay tuned for many great runs coming up. Final block of games now. We've got Linkomeister next up with Contra Rebirth on easy difficulty. It's going to be a good time. Stay tuned.